All right, Mr. Burrell here. I have been hesitating to do this for the longest time because, frankly, my voice just doesn't feel up to it. I'm not in the singing spirit this year, but seriously, trust me. Many of you have possibly learned this song right here before, the Dynasty song it's called. But let me point out to you that you learned the cheese ball simplified version, and my experience teaching students is that my little revisions here are necessary. This POD and this Warring States period. Those are not dynasties, but they're important periods that you need to know about. It will help you at the end of the year to understand the whole story. Do I need to, by the way, remind you that you will be one of very few people your age in your 20s in the job market who can actually talk about the entire history of China from the beginning of its historical period in the Shang Dynasty. You will be among the very few students, and to repeat it again, not to depress you, but your future is far more depressing than mine was, economically and all sorts of things. So learn this song, and in 10, 15 years, when you get the job, because you can talk about, oh yeah, the period of disunity. You can send me an email if I'm still alive. I might be dust in the ground. Send me an email and say, hey, Mr. Burrell, you know what? Thanks, man, because I really did win that interview against all these other people because I could talk China way better than anybody else could from a buddy class I took when I was a sophomore or junior. All right, so here we go. This song is revised from the way that AP and others sing it because they do a simpler version. So I want to point out to you, I want you to look at this. Notice that the colors are different. Red, that is the first wave of Chinese history. Chinese history is 3,600 years written. It goes in really identifiable chunks where it starts with a sort of rise, the Shang rises, and then the Zhou, it peaks. The Zhou dynasty is considered the golden age of China. It peaks there. And then the last part of each of the colored blocks is the crash of the wave. So you picture a wave. Rise, peak, crash. That's what waves do, right? Anybody who surfs knows that. So let's count the waves. Wave 1. Wave 2 is in green, Qin, Han, and POD. That's period of disunity. Wave 3, Sui, Tang, Song, and Yuan. That crash right there at the Yuan. The UN are the Mongols. So, that's Genghis Khan and all that. They come in and they crash this period. The next wave is a simple one, the Ming and the Qing dynasties. Ming, Qing. Notice that Q sound in Pinyin is a ch. And then our last wave, Republic of China, People's Republic, the Communist China, it's still going strong. I put the same thing over here for you. That's what this is. Whoops. Right, the 5 waves. I rounded the dates. Please, those of you who are anxious types, be a Taoist, relax. I don't expect you to memorize all these dates up front. But I am giving it to those of you who like to look at things and sort of think about it. The duration of dynasties tells us a lot. Wow, look at the Shang. It lasted for over 500 years. Pretty interesting. Wow, look at the Zhou. It lasted for, 220 to 1050 BC. That's over 800 years. Wow, what's up with that? But then, what's up with this? It breaks down into a Western Zhou, 775, 875, 975. That's 200, less than 300 years. And an Eastern Zhou. What happened there? Why would you break a dynasty up into a Western and Eastern? And wow, look at this. In the Eastern, it breaks up again from, I said that I would round these off for you, so that from 775 to 500, and Warring, Eastern Zhou, Warring States period, what's that? That doesn't sound very good. And notice the color changes. So I'm color coding this in all of this, so your job is just to notice it and see that at the end of every one of these waves, that is the fall after a peak, a golden period. I want you to just notice a couple of other patterns while we're here before I sing. When I sing, that's the climax, and I'll stop. I won't be much longer. Notice another pattern. Do you see it? Western Zhou and Eastern Zhou. Western Han, and then interregnum means little interruption, basically. And then Eastern Han. So we see this Western and Eastern division thing, where it starts in the West and then it ends in the East. those names for both of those, and those are the only two times that it happens, are named because of a shift in capitals from capital cities of each empire, dynasty, from east to west. So the Western Han was in one capital city, and then clearly something happened that made them change their capital to the east. Wave 3, Sui, Tang, Song, Yuan, and then wave 4, Ming and Qing. Guess when the Europeans really arrive? Only here. In wave 4. So look at that. For the first 3 waves of Chinese history, the Europeans aren't there. That's why I keep telling you, this whole east-west different planets thing. And then finally wave 5, that's just the last 100 years. It's obviously something bad happened after the rest arrived after the West arrived in the Qing dynasty. And then 100 years ago, it started rising again with the Republic of China and today's People's Republic of China, which is the big evil communists. And I'm kidding, I don't think they're evil. All right? So now let's do the song. 5 waves of Chinese history. By the end of this, you will know 3,600 years of the history, and you should be able to already, the Shang and the Zhou and the Warring States, you'll know that by the end of the week. The Qin, Han, period of disunity, Sui, Tang, Song, and Yuan, and the Ming, we'll get through by the end of the quarter. We'll do the Qing, ROC, and PRC, fourth quarter. So here we go. This song is sung to the tune of Frère Jacques. Are you sleeping, Brother John? I wish I was good with computers, because then I would make it a bouncing ball thing. And I wish I was better at singing. Actually, I used to sing in a band. I'm not bad. Oh, that's so un-Chinese to brag. I take it back. I'm kidding. Yao is rolling in his grave. Here we go. So, sing along, because you're going to be quizzed on this. Shang, Zhou, Warring States, Qin. Shang, Zhou, Warring States, Qin. Han, Pod, Sui, Tang. Han, Pod, Sui, Tang. Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing. Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing. ROC, PRC. Okay, stop applauding. Don't worry about paying me for, you can just pirate it. You can give it to your friends. You don't have to buy it from me, download it from iTunes. Just get the torrent. All right, one more time. Here we go. Now, if you're smart, when you're quizzed on this, you've got it in your iPod or your iPhone, and you are listening to it on the bus or whatever, in the limo on the way to school if you're a bitches and hoes type. All right, here we go. If you're a gangster. I'll pay anybody to do a gangster version of this song. Shang, Zhou, Warring States, Qin. Shang, Zhou, Warring States, Qin. Han, Pod, Sui, Tang. Han, Pod, Sui, Tang. Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing. Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing. ROC, PRC. All right, that's about it. I do want you to learn that song, and you'll be quizzed. Learn the spelling also. The spelling also. Spelling counts. You'll be quizzed on that. So, in the correct order. And I want you to learn the dates of the Shang, the Zhou, down to, and all of these dates. All right. So the dates of wave 1, I want you to learn, and the song. That's it for now. All right, thanks for listening. Really stop applauding, you're embarrassing me. Yes, I'm a clown. Stop. All right.